What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another UFC prediction video. Today we're talking UFC 309 live from Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. It is Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title. Boys. We all know it should be Tom Aspinall, but I mean, you are talking to a Stipe fan, so keep that in your mind. You're talking to a Cleveland boy, so keep that in mind as you're watching this video. But some great fights on the cards. We got Charles Oliveria fighting Michael Chandler. Bo Nickel, he's back. He's the third fight on the pay-per-view, yeah. Chris Weidman's fighting Eric Anders, so good night of fights. I know the Chris Weidman fights on the prelims. We usually talk about the pay-per-views in these uploads, but let's get into my picks and predictions for UFC 309. Starting off, we got Mauricio Ruffi taking on James Luntop, I think is how you say his name, Luntop, I'm not sure. Two South American guys getting in the cage here at MSG to kick off the pay-per-view, and the UFC might have themselves a star here in this Mauricio Ruffi guy. I haven't seen this guy a lot, but when you win 100% of your fights by KO, you're 10-0, you're undefeated. That's a pretty good sign. The more times than not, that is a pretty good sign. This fight is probably going to take place on the feet. Luntop's only won 7% of his fights by submission. He's got 50% KO, TKO win percentage, and a 43% decision win advantage. But overall, yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of advantages on the ground here. Ruffi actually has a 100% takedown defense, which is a very, very big stat. Got the reach advantage, got the leg advantage. Oh, he's 10-1, my bad. I didn't know, I thought he was undefeated there for a second, but I'd like to see who he lost to. But overall, man, I do think this fight sets up well for Mauricio Ruffi. I mean, he's probably gonna just counter-strike the whole night, pick his shots, pick his range, and just keep booming from a distance. I'm gonna go with Mauricio Ruffi. I think he'll win let's say a second round knockout. I think he'll get a second round knockout over Luntop. Luntop's definitely gonna be a tough test for him in terms of skill and just pure grit and determination, but I think Mauricio Ruffi will get the decision in this fight. Well, not the decision, dummy. I'm too tired to be doing these videos, but I'm gonna say he gets the win by second round KO. That's how I see this fight going down. Well, next up on the card, we have Viviane Araújo, however you say it, taking on Corinne Silva, two Brazilian fighters at women's flyweight. Could be an interesting fight, but for me, this is one of those fights that just has decision written all over it. Let's be honest. No one's getting finished in this fight. No one's gonna try to get the finish. This is gonna be a point fight. Hold someone on the ground for the whole night. This is what I see this happening. I mean, looks like Corinne Silva's bigger advantages are on the feet. She actually only has a 6% decision win advantage, but in my opinion, I think if Viviane Araújo wins this fight, it's going to be by decision. If Corinne Silva wins this fight, it's probably going to be by stoppage. And can Viviane Araújo be taken out? That's the real question. She's been pretty durable over her UFC career. I don't recall her ever being stopped, but she does have 6 losses against her. I don't remember her getting knocked out. Let's double check that. Stats here. She's actually had 2 canceled fights this year. I don't know if that's on her or what, but yeah, she beat Jennifer Maia, decision loss to Amanda Ribas. So, I mean, yeah, it's all of her losses and fights have been by decision, looks like. She's never really been stopped by the looks of it, so I can't see her getting put out in this fight, so unless Corinne Silva has power that is not common in the women's flyweight division, honestly, I like being exciting, so give me Corinne Silva. She's got a better record. She's got the better skills by the looks of it. She's fighting kind of the gatekeeper in the division, in my opinion, so give me Corinne Silva. I think she's going to jump herself up to the next level with a win in this fight, so give me Corinne Silva to win. Let's go by a decision. Why not? I think Araújo's a little too tough to be taken out. Well then, next up, Bo Nickel will be fighting Paul Craig at middleweight. This is actually a very, very fun fight for me. I really like this fight. It's undeniably Bo Nickel's toughest test yet. They're definitely giving him some stronger competition now, and I mean, Paul Craig, his main asset is his grappling. So it's really going to be interesting to see how Bo Nickel's grappling matches up against his. Bo Nickel, obviously, All-American wrestler, one of the top wrestlers in the United States of America in the collegiate level. So he's no slouch on the ground. But Paul Craig definitely has more of a submission threat, being more of a jiu-jitsu specialist, whereas Bo Nickel's more of a wrestling specialist. But if this fight goes to the ground, which I'm very compelled to see if it does, I think Bo Nickel's just going to be able to get on top of Paul Craig, hold him down, and get the decision nod in this fight. That's what I really see happening. But you never know, man. This is a good little fight on paper, and I think Bo Nickel can outclass Paul Craig on the feet. I just feel like Bo Nickel can outclass Paul Craig in virtually everywhere this fight goes. So I am going to take Bo Nickel in this fight. I mean, the only real disadvantage I see him having is the height, and you can't really say that's not going to be too much of a disadvantage because they have the same reach, and Paul Craig has 1 inch in leg reach, so it's like, it's not that big of an advantage in my opinion. I do think Bo Nickel will get the job done. I think he'll be able to outskill Paul Craig, and I see him winning by, I don't think he'll get him out of there in the first round, but I'll say a second round submission. Now here's a spicy co-main event. Good lord, if this fight doesn't end in a finish, I'll be amazed. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveria rematches Michael Chandler in a co-main event at Madison Square Garden. A rematch of the title fight that went down in May of 2021 in Houston, Texas. Now, this is going to be a banger. This is a certified banger from top to bottom. I think this is just going to be pure excitement. If you look back at that first fight, Michael Chandler actually had a lot of success in that first round. Well, everybody has a lot of success on Charles Oliveria in the first round, and then Charles usually gets dropped in the first round, and then he usually comes back in the second or third round and wins by finish some way, somehow. I don't even know, man. That's just how DeBronx does it. But honestly, this is at the Garden, so could it be fairly similar to Chandler versus Gaethje? I can see it. Yeah, I can see it, man. It's been a long damn time since we see Michael Chandler fight. Was his last fight Dustin Poirier? I'm pretty sure his last fight might have been Dustin Poirier. Yeah, it was Dustin Poirier back in 2022. So 2 years since we've last seen Michael Chandler in the cage. The Conor McGregor stuff really held up Michael Chandler. He's action from start to finish. I'm going to be very happy to see Michael Chandler back in the cage. And I mean, against Charles Oliveria, man, that's going to be a test. That's going to be a test and a half. DeBronx is no easy joke. You've just seen him give hell to Arman Tsarukyan. He's given challenges to the likes of Islam Makhachev, Justin Gaethje. Well, he beat Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. Like, DeBronx is no joke, man. You see what he did to Beneil Dariush back in Vancouver? Like, even what he did to Michael Chandler, like, Oliveira's the real friggin' deal, bro. I really like this guy. I really like this guy a lot. And how do I see this fight going? I'll be honest, I do see DeBronx getting the win. I do think Charles DeBronx, especially with activity and all that stuff, I really think that's going to play to advantage for DeBronx. I mean, I think Chandler will come out strong, but I can see his gas tank letting him down a little bit, especially as the fight goes on a little bit in the rounds. But I am going to say Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveria is going to get a late second round submission on Michael Chandler. Oh my god, man, that's like the third time Chandler's lost at the Garden. This guy's got... Let's give Michael Chandler Conor McGregor at the Garden next year. Michael Chandler needs a win, bro. He needs a win at the Garden. I feel so bad for this guy, but I'm going to say Charles Oliveira gets the dub. I just feel like he's faster, stronger, well, I wouldn't say stronger. Chandler's a pretty damn built guy, but like more skilled, more technical than Michael Chandler, and activity will really help Charles DeBronx a lot in this fight, so I am going to take Charles Oliveria to get the win over Michael Chandler. And now it is time for your main event of the evening. Johnny Bones Jones faces the fighting fireman Stipe Miocic from Cleveland, Ohio. I should have got my friggin' Cavs and Browns gear out for this one. I still gotta get myself a Guardians jersey, maybe for Christmas. I'm mainly want an Ohio State Buckeyes football jersey, but oh well. Stipe, you know, it's been almost been 4 years since we've seen Stipe in the cage. Holy shit. That is crazy. Stipe, man, I really hope this is your last fight. I really, really hope it is. His picture is from the Reebok era, bro. We've been in the Venom era since April 2021. Oh my god. Stipe. Oh no. Oh my god. This is gonna go so bad. This is gonna go so bad. And I mean, oh, Johnny Jones. It's been a long time since we've seen Johnny Bones in the octagon too. Would have been against Cyril Gane back in March 2023 when he won the title. Oh my god, man. And what's crazy is John's gonna be the heavier guy. John's probably gonna be the heavier guy going in the cage. And he spent like a vast majority of his career at 205. Like, oh my god, and John's got all the physical advantages too. I think if Stipe's able to keep this fight on the feet some way, somehow, I think he can get the job done, because I think he's got sharp enough boxing to beat Jon Jones. We've seen it with how he beat Daniel Cormier, Francis Ngannou. Well, the Francis Ngannou fight was more of a grappling fest. But who else do we have? We had the friggin' what's his name? Like Alistair Overeem, Junior Dos Santos. These are guys who are old and retired. Like, oh my god, why are we doing this? I get we want to send Jon Jones and Stipe off into the sunset. Hopefully this is the retirement fight for both of them. I really, really do hope this is the retirement fight for both of them. But Tom Aspinall has defended the interim title waiting for these guys. Like, Jesus, this is like Trump and Biden friggin' competing for the presidency all over again. But oh my goodness, who am I gonna give this fight to? As much as I love Stipe, I can't deny Johnny Bones Jones. Johnny Bones Jones is the GOAT. I figure he'll get either, like, no, I think Stipe's too strong on the ground. I think Stipe's strong enough on the ground. He's still I'm pretty sure he's an all-American wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Stipe's very well-rounded. He's a great athlete no matter where it goes. And I mean, Jon Jones is just the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. The greatest fighter to ever live is Jon Jones, said Dana White. Oh, I'd love to see Dana White's reaction if Stipe wins this fight, but I'm gonna give it to Johnny Jones. I think his undefeated record stands, and Stipe Miocic, you know, hopefully you can have a good retirement, bro. That's all I'll say. But this is gonna do it for my picks for UFC 309, Jones versus Miocic at the Garden. Hopefully it's a great card. I think it's gonna be a good night of fights, and I will see you guys in... Well, when is the next... Oh my god, it's not for another like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, because well, who knows who's going to be the main event now, because Shavkat's without an opponent, so I figure we'll see him versus Usman for the interim title, but it's going to be a short notice one. If not, we'll see you for Pantoja versus whoever that Asian guy is he's fighting. I don't remember who it is, but take care, guys, and peace. I messed that up so bad, oh my god.